This is the first time you are working together in this formation. Can you tell us how it feels already?
Very excited. It's been really, what's the word? Nice start of the pre-season of this era together. Really grateful meeting Lukas, Björn, and yeah, it's crazy times obviously with coming here and hit the ground running, but it's been amazing so far.
Yeah, I agree. It's like Björn said, in football you have to hit the ground running. So we spoke on the phone, I think 15 minutes before we actually met in Rotterdam. Yeah, of course we need to know each other, everyone, both the staff and the players, but I think it's been great so far.
Can you explain what you did in that first week together?
I spent a lot of hours in the 1908, like from 7 in the morning to 7 in the night, I think 5 or 6 days. And then also when you move country, you also have some practical stuff. So Björn went to look on some houses, I went to look at some apartments, I went to the bank, went to the city council, all these kinds of stuff, so we could get rid of this. So we could talk about football when we were training and when the players arrived. So it was a bit of time in the training facilities and then also some practical stuff that, of course, you need to get sorted so you can talk about football afterwards.
You already mentioned your new office, 1908. How do you like it?
Yeah, I like the open landscape. You see everyone that you work with, you're close to everyone. So I really liked the idea of having discussions. If you speak about this, you can always just look left or right and you get inputs from everyone working for the club, and we're all here for the same reason. We're here for this badge, we're here to help the team, whatever role, whatever part you support the team. And the training ground is top, it's excellent, it's high standards on everything there.
I think it's been rebuilt a little bit since last season, so now it's even more open than before. The performance staff is closer to the technical staff, which is really nice. Get that togetherness in the group across different departments to have like a holistic approach to the session. So I think it's really top quality.
These are the weeks you're going to build a foundation for the team. How do you do that?
Now, like you said, first of all, we got the time. Because time is precious these days, whatever you do, whatever work, whatever life you live. So get away like this to actually have the time, and sometimes that's what you need to really understand people, really understand people in this context, the players, the other staff. Because it's like you come to work, you normally speak about work, but it's also important to understand the human being behind the footballer, behind the physio, behind the doctors.
Yeah, and then of course we can train. From now until 1st of September we can actually have training sessions more than 2 times per week. When we come back from the first international break, we're going to have a lot of games, Champions League, Cup, Eredivisie. So now is the time for us to have training sessions. We only have these 7-8 weeks from now. And after that it's going to be games on games, of hopefully for a long time in the season. So yeah, it's also about the training sessions that we actually have time to do some proper work at the minute. So yeah, getting to know each other, but also everybody getting the new style of play a little bit under the skin. Of course, we took some things from last season and tried to incorporate that as well. But of course, different phases also, a different kind of training and playing as well. So yeah, so everybody needs to get that under the skin at the moment as well.
You're both Scandinavian as well as Björn and Jiri. How do you can tell us about the Scandinavian influence for a Dutch team?
Of course, the Danish and Swedish cultures are very similar, and I think it's pretty close to the Dutch one as well. But Björn obviously worked abroad in England for some time, so he brings a bit of that English culture in as well. And me and Brian, we were in Prague, so we take a bit of that Czech culture in as well. So it's, as football, it's like a mix of cultures, a multicultural club and a multicultural city and multicultural team. So of course there's some things that you take along from back in the days, from where we grew up, but also you adapt to football environment, Dutch environment, British environment, Czech environment, and you bring that all together to try to create like a common culture. There's a Feyenoord culture that we can work on day in and day out.
I think the ground values we have will be quite similar, but then we're quite different. So
yeah, it's a funny thing when you are in Denmark, then you say our Danish guys are really different to Swedish guys, but as soon as you move to a new country, then all of a sudden we're the same. So yeah, well, of course there's differences, but also, like Björn says, the core foundation, the values are pretty similar.
You already mentioned you all bring that together in Feyenoord. How important was John for you guys, who has the Feyenoord DNA in those first weeks?
He's a top guy, John. I really enjoy having him in the staff, and I think it's important for every club to have a figure like him that knows the club, knows the city, also knows the league, the players, and make sure there's a trajectory from what has been in Feyenoord before to what is coming to Feyenoord in the future. I think that's really important to try to bridge that small gap that can be there. So John is a top quality person, and we really enjoy having him in the staff, both as, now I've said it several times, as a person, but also as a coach. He brings valuable points to the table, and good insights and good input. So it's really important for every club to have a guy like John, and we're so happy to have him.
He is, like you say, represent the club in a fantastic way, and is a fantastic human being. He looked like a big, dangerous man, but he got a massive heart, and it's unbelievable how we look after people. So.
Feyenoord is really about family, but football is also kind of a hard world. How do you make those two opposites come together?
It's a bit like parenting. It's the same thing. You speak about family club, but these are young guys. Young guys that want to do the best in their football life, but also there's outside of football, they sometimes need to get help, guidance, whatever that's called. And that's why we're here. We obviously want to improve them as footballer, and then sometimes to push through that ceiling. It might be football, but it might be something mentally that may be holding them back. So it's probably where we come in and support. I
think there's two things. Björn already said one, that honesty, super important, that we are honest about everything we do. But also that the players, they know we really care about them as persons, that you value them as persons, that we respect one another as a human being. And that's not completely different from football, but we're also professionals, so we need to be honest with each other. If something is good, we're going to say it. If something is bad, we're also going to say it, to give that honest feedback. But that doesn't mean we don't respect one another as a person. You have to do it in a respectful manner. And if you do it in a respectful manner, then I think and I feel that the players, they will value that honesty.
Last one for you guys together. You've been at Feyenoord and at the Kuip. What were the things you noticed about the club?
I really like, it's a bit unusual outside of Denmark, that Feyenoord has the amateur department together with the professional department. It makes a great vision for the small kids, that they see a pathway. They can go from being a kid in the amateur club to go to Feyenoord. They can go to the Kuip, and small details in Feyenoord that I really like was the dressing rooms. So when you come in as a kid, you start in one end, and then you move closer and closer and closer to the Kuip. I think that's just small details that is really great. Seems like a really professional place, the academy. I look forward to being there a little bit more. I've only been there twice now, but that I really liked. And the stadium is amazing. Looking forward to see a full stadium at some point.
It's quite unique to have the stadium, academy, first team, training ground all that close. You can see it from wherever I've been. That's not been the case. You normally have the stadium there, the academy there, the training ground somewhere else. That's when I drove in, I was like, this is amazing. Like you say, if you're a young kid, you're growing up, and you can see all this phases in your potential career just there. It's
so nice when you
powerful.
drive over the bridge, and you can see the stadium on, I think it's on your left hand side, and you can almost also see Feyenoord, and you can see 1908 just from the bridge when you enter the city. It's really nice.
I already told you about Feyenoord being a big family. How would your family describe you?
Hopefully say that I'm a loving father, caring, obviously partner, father. I know this life is not always, how can I say, it's hard to always be present with when you're home, when you're with your kids, when you're with your partner. Something I still work on, and hopefully I improve that over the years.
Would you say you're the funny uncle, or how would you describe yourself?
I'd probably say the one that is a good listener, someone that take time. If I'm with my nieces, I make sure I'm there. I'm not just maybe the funny guy or the just take them on fun things. So really try to take the time to connect. In a bigger room, probably my voice goes down a little bit and be more the passive one. But it depends on what situation it is. If I'm just with them, or if it's the whole family for Christmas, I'll take the different roles.
What does your family situation look like?
So for the moment, I got a 9-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old son, and then my partner Anna. I've been together since high school. Yeah, it's a busy family life, of course. That's my life.
What does your favorite day off look like?
Be outside, definitely. Be outside a lot. Be in the park, be in the forest, be maybe on the bikes. I would definitely be an outdoor person, and that's where I grew up. It's similar. I'm not really good just sitting inside and have a long breakfast, or I wanna do stuff. I wanna get out there.
You like to do activities?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe we can ask the fans to leave some tips in the comments
Oh,
for
I
you.
would love that, definitely.
Did you have any time to explore Rotterdam already?
Not too much. What I mentioned a little bit before is the different cultures, the different dynamic. It's a vibrating city. They got a lot of history with the port, a lot of water that I personally like. Like I said, on a day off, I want to be out, move. If I drive into town, you will have people moving everywhere. So that's why I like with Rotterdam. It doesn't seem, I would say, like the most quiet city. It's quite lively, and I like that.
What kind of sports do you watch outside of football?
I watch a bit of everything, but probably if I would go, I need time to watch something. It would probably be Formula One or the big tennis games. Probably I won't see the round 1 and 2s, but when there's a big final, definitely watch that if I can.
Were you a football player as well when you were young?
Played until I was 20, but I never played professional, not even semi-professional, so low level.
When did you know you were going to start a career in football?
I wanted to be a coach when I stopped playing, and I was 20. I didn't get any real opportunities in first team environments. A couple options working with kids. I didn't think that was my strength necessarily. I think there's different expertise. So I started my own football club that I became a coach of. And then I just went, if no one wants me, what can I control? So I started my own team. And then obviously I didn't think I had a career where I'm at for the moment. But obviously I started it for a reason. And then by time in my old club, Östersund, we took steps within the league, and as soon we became in the professional leagues, obviously the opportunity came. And then, so I worked a little bit with my own ambition, what I wanted, but then my hometown club took the steps, and I was a part of that, so that's probably how it started.
Cool story.
Yeah, it's a bit different story, and then it's important. The important message for me is, you need to see what you can do. It's easy to find excuses. It's easy to go, oh, this is not possible. Where I come from is a winter town. It's ice hockey, skiing, it's biathlon. It's not real football town. So growing up I think it's important to see the possibilities. And then you just need to see it, but then you need to act. And I did, and I think that created my life. And now I'm here.
I think a really good message for people who have an ambition but don't know how to get there.
No, exactly. And you know, it's like you need to have role models. That's where the academy boys today, I'm sure they look up to the players that have been through the academy, and because if you see the possibilities, what's stopping you is if something never happened before. I wasn't the first started a football club, but it's possible. And then that was a decision I made with a few friends.
What would you do if you weren't in football?
I'm quite sure I'd be a teacher, quite sure. I worked a lot in schools. I managed to do 2 years on university before football became full-time. And my daughter, same time, so it's full-time study, full-time work and a newborn was impossible. So then I never finished the last 2 years, but it's always, I think there's a lot of correlation between you work with a group, you try to help people, you try to maximize someone else's potential. So definitely a teacher.
How would your family describe you?
It's difficult to say. I hope they would say that I'm a caring person. That would be the positive side. On the positive negative side, they would maybe say I'm also a confident person, for good and for bad. I don't know where it comes from really, but I always speak my mind. I think it's one of my strengths. Also sometimes one of my weaknesses, that I always speak my mind. If you have a really good argument, then you can convince me, but it takes strong arguments to convince me of different things than the opinion that I already built. It's difficult to say where it comes from, but yeah, that's just me, I guess.
Can you tell us something about your background and family situation?
So my family situation is that I have a girlfriend who lives in Denmark, in Aarhus, and I have parents that lives in Denmark, 3 siblings lives in Denmark as well, and then obviously I would say that I'm not 100% Danish. I also have some family in Nigeria, roots from Sweden as well, so multicultural background as well. Yeah, so that's kind of the family situation.
And if you're in a family situation, what are you, kind of the family guy? Are you the funny one? Are you the serious one?
Yeah, it depends which kind of family it is. I think yeah, we are 4 siblings. I'm the oldest one, so when we're together, I talk a bit and make fun with my 2 brothers and my sister. If it's a bigger surroundings, then I sometimes go a little bit more quiet and yeah, talk to 1 or 2 persons. So depends a lot in the situation, but in general, when you're with family, I like to talk about how they are doing, what they are doing in their lives. So not too much about this crazy football world. So it really depends on the situation as well.
What is important for you apart from football?
Our family, of course, is one of them. Family and friends. So important that you have someone in your life that you can talk about everything with. And then yeah, for me it's really important to do something else than football as well. So I like to cook a lot, I read a lot, I see different sports, try to investigate different parts of life than football, to try to do something different. I think this football world is so crazy, so if you only care about football, you're gonna be a maniac one day, and then I won't last until I'm 55 or 60 or something, so I need to do different stuff as well.
Did you play football as a kid?
Yeah, as a kid I did. Played at academy level, and then a combination of injury and a doctor telling me, if you're not going to be a professional, I think you should stop. Then I stopped. So there was no way I was going to be a professional. I was nowhere near good enough. So I played until I was 16 or 17. I don't remember completely. Then I had some operational stuff, and then at some point the doctors told me, we think you should stop now.
What was your favorite position on the field?
Yeah, I played mostly on the sides, left or right side. I was left-footed, so from the right side I went inside and did some things with my left. On the left side I was more of a build-up player, so yeah, on the sides is where I primarily played.
And who's your favorite player?
Ooh, favorite player? That's a good question. One that I always enjoyed to watch. He just retired his career and didn't play too many games, unfortunately, was Thiago. I played in Liverpool. Always enjoyed watching him play. Such a creative player, such good technique, good vision for the game as well. I think also one of the reasons is he didn't play too many games, so it was not always you could see him play 90 minutes, but I always loved to watch him play.
What brought you into coaching?
Long story short, I had these surgeries, and then I coached at my boyhood club, and then I think I was just interested in seeing what else could I do, so I ended up pretty quickly moving to Køge in Denmark and working there with kids. And then me and a good friend of mine, we coached these kids for many days of the week and talked about football. We were in high school at that time, talked about football 24/7, and I think we realized, okay, we could maybe do something great here. So we actually worked and did all different things. He went to Midtjylland, I went to Lyngby. We ended up both in Lyngby. He's a professional coach in the academy now, and I'm here. So things turned out really great. But I think that relationship that I have had with him, working in academy football, but also just sharing ideas on a daily basis, it was one of the reasons that I'm where I'm at today, and also I think where he is today.
Great that you could do that together with the same passion, right?
Really nice. We ended up living together in a house full with academy football players and then us two academy coaches. So it was a nice experience at that time. Also nice when we moved apart, but yeah, it was a nice experience.
What would you do if you weren't in football?
I have a bachelor's degree in international economics and marketing, so probably I would use that in some way. I also thought about studying some law, so I think I will work in some other kind of high performance environment. That's what really drives me and what I enjoy. So I think I would do something in consultancy or law or finance or something like this. But I never really had the chance to try anything else. My first job was in football, and hopefully my last job will also be in football. So I don't know and don't hope I will know.
Well, if you get bored anytime soon, you can maybe get an internship at the media team.
Yeah, maybe. I also worked as a journalist for 3 or 4 years, so yeah, we could also do that.